Hey team, welcome to Small Creator Big World. I'm Bhav.
And I'm Becky, and this podcast is a space for us to chat about all things being small creators on the internet, and occasionally for us to have an existential crisis. All right, Bob, you came at me with a question the other day.
Oh, that's where we're starting?
Is it not?
Okay.
You had a question the other day. And by the other day, I mean literally just yesterday.
Yes.
And we kind of actually paused that conversation to continue it here. So would you care to bring the 5 people that listen to us up to speed?
Yeah. Also, I love how we're now up to 5. I can't name them, but we're definitely growing, and I think that
Yay!
is very cool. Yep. We're stepping up in the world. Yes. Okay. So this episode we had originally titled or figured the topic we were going to talk about was how to start YouTube in 2026.
Uh-huh.
That was the plan, and we were planning it out. We kind of had a rough structure, and then we had a call yesterday to kind of finalize the structure and be like, right, what exactly are we doing? The idea being that over the last few episodes, we've tried to be a bit more prepared for the episodes because we think they flow better. I don't know if that's actually true. Let us know if you don't think so. But we've and by prep, I don't mean we've sat here for hours and figured out exactly what to say. But we've broadly got a structure. Whereas for the first, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 episodes, we were definitely just rocking up and winging it and going, what happened in your week? What happened in my week? So we're like, okay, cool. So we were working towards this thing where we had a structure. And then, we were like, okay, where did this start from? Oh, okay. I think we were talking about the newsletter, which we've kicked off. Please
what is the newsletter?
Sign up. I was about to tell you a link, and I was like, I actually don't remember the link. It's on Substack, though. The newsletter,
smallcreatorbigworld.substack.com.
Oh, she knows. Okay, there you go. Editor Bhav, please throw that link up on the screen. Thank you. And yeah, we were talking about the newsletter and how to grow it and how we could grow it. And so I had a conversation the other day with my good old friend Jakob, who used to work with Ali Abdaal as well, and is, guys, if you need any help with growing any newsletters or any growth strategy stuff and kit things and lead magnets and the world of ads or stuff, Jakob is your guy. Actually, we should link his LinkedIn in here. Editor Bhav. Do that. Okay, so anyway, I was having a conversation with Jakob, and he was like, right, cool. What's your UVP? What's your unique value perspective? And I was like, I don't know, we're just doing a podcast, stop making me think. So I was like, okay, I will catch up with Becky and I'll get back to you. So then this fast forward to the conversation yesterday, we were like, cool, what's our UVP? And then we were like, oh no, who knows? Yeah, so we got into a little bit of a conversation and we started it and we were like, what do we actually want to do here? What is the point of the podcast? And by proxy, what's the reason for the newsletter and stuff? And I think I definitely started with, I want to be the one, I want to be the resource for small creators. If you look at other platforms, Jakob was showing me Creator Spotlight and how they have a very clear value proposition. And
what's Creator Spotlight?
I don't know. No, it is a podcast that also has a newsletter and talks about creators or creator things. So I was like, okay, cool. That makes sense. That is that's something we should look to as inspiration and kind of, what we're doing, but many, many steps ahead of us. And yeah, but then we were like, okay, what? Then we took it back another step. We're like, okay, who are we even talking to? We know we were talking to small creators, but, and I think this is the question, what is a small creator? Who is a small creator, and how do we define it? And we will come back to that because that's definitely a conversation we wanted to have here, because that's something we started discussing. We're like, that's something that we should have amongst our friends. So we're going to record that and kind of us rambling about that and figuring that out. And then the other part of it was, based on that, what do we want to do? How do we want to format these episodes? Do we want to, was the original plan with how to start a YouTube channel in 2026? Do we want to just like talk about, like, literally, like, give information, right? And be that resource and be like, okay, here's why you should start a channel. Here's how you should start a channel. Here's things to keep in mind. Like, in fact, here's the structure. Why start a channel in 2026? The anatomy of a YouTube channel, no, of a video, sorry. Things to keep in mind that are specific to 2026 and YouTube channels, and then kind of a little bit of our experience. And one reason why we can do that is because you are Ali Abdal's YouTube producer, so you are very much in the creator world. I work with people who are on YouTube and are much more successful than I am, and therefore we have we have that knowledge, and you consume more than me, a lot of like creator economy things. So we could be that podcast and that person. But then I don't think either of us wanted to be, because we were like, and it kind of almost comes back to the guide versus the guru type thing. And like, we don't, as much as I want to be like the place where small creators go, I think both of us want it to be more from a community and a vibey point of view, not necessarily like the resource place. I mean, yes, we'll have resources, but so I think in a nutshell, where we came to is actually what we want to do. And please, we can continue this conversation in case, we've changed our mind in the last 24 hours. What we want to do is we want to come on. The thing that we enjoy doing, and the reason why we started this, is so we can yap every couple of weeks about things that are going on in our lives, but like specific to the creator economy, because we both live in it, we both enjoy it. And therefore it's something to talk about. You still work for Ali, I still work with creators. We're in this world, we like this world, we consume a lot, and it's just a fun thing to talk about. But within that, it's like us bringing our relevant experience here and talking about it. But on the flip side, it is also us being small creators, right? So Becky, you have a Substack, you've dipped into YouTube, and still release the odd video and stuff, and you're trying to like create, or you're like side hustling in this world, right? With consulting and coaching, and like you hopefully being like the go-to for LinkedIn and that kind of stuff. And me also now side hustling, I guess full-time hustling, in that I don't have a job anymore. I'm trying to set like up my own business and create that world as an ops person, specifically for creators or educational like businesses or educational creators. And so we're kind of going through these things. We have a podcast, like that's also something. I guess I have a Substack, and we're like talking about personal brand and stuff and how we can grow. So whether that's like posting on LinkedIn or Instagram and all this, basically we're going through a lot of the same things. So in a nutshell, what we want to do, and hopefully this is what you guys are listening for, is we want to talk about our experiences, what we're going through, what we're learning, but like in public, because we think that it could be helpful for other people, because we would listen. So actually, you asked me a good question when we started this conversation of like, what would you listen to, or would you listen to this episode? And I was like, if the episode was how to start a YouTube channel in 2026, I would not click that. Like, why would I? And it was like, oh, that was eye-opening, because we are the audience for this podcast. So if we wouldn't listen to it and click on it, well, how can we expect anyone else to? So we're like, okay, what is something that we would tune into? And we were like, we would tune into other people in this position talking about their experiences and what has gone on. And I think that's basically a recap of the conversation yesterday. And we ended it with, cool, that should be our podcast tomorrow. Let's discuss. Is that about right?
I think that's about right. I think what was coming up to mind was I remember how we started, and I feel like I may have been the person responsible leading us down this rabbit hole. Because, okay, so Bhav and I have started hosting this thing called Office Hours. This was a fun little thing that we decided to do. It was, you know how people are always like, you should talk to your actual like listeners and your actual community and stuff. And I thought a great way to do it is to host office hours, like creator office hours. Like basically anybody who listens to this podcast can come in can walk up to a Zoom session, and it's free. And both of us are just there for an hour, just literally answering anybody's questions about creator stuff. And we get questions about newsletters, about like, what is LinkedIn? Should we even bother? About like, should I start a second channel? Should I like converge them? Should I like split them apart? So there's all these questions. And one of the very, very first questions that we got in office hours was, hey, I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel. Where do I go from here? And then that's when both of us were like, oh my goodness, we have so much to say about this. We can very quickly pull together like a gear guide. We can very quickly pull together like a skill stack that you should have, like an app stack. Like where do you edit? How do you review videos? Where do you learn certain skills about YouTube? Like where do you learn how to talk to the camera? Where do you learn about audio settings and such? And then I was thinking about how a lot of people may have the idea of starting a new social media channel or a new project in 2026. So I texted you out of the blue and was just like, hey, this should be our next podcast episode. And we could make a series of this, basically a how-to guide. I felt like, oh, it made sense as a community of small creators to at least have a guide ready. And I was like, oh, maybe we can also just talk about it. And I think discussing the episode was where we started having sort of different ideas, because I was just like, oh, it's just step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, in my head, I think I had Danny. Hi, Danny. I'm calling you out. I had Danny in mind when I was like, Danny's just like, he's been creating, but he just wants to start a YouTube channel, and he didn't know where to start. So in my mind, I just went there. But as we were discussing it yesterday, I think the exact phrase was like, we don't need to be the next think media, like that already exists out there. And that's not our bread and butter anyway. Like, yes, I'm a YouTube producer and such, but I don't make YouTube videos myself. And I feel like it's really, really different. For me to say something, you might as well learn from the guy who's actually like making YouTube videos. So that's where we landed. But yeah, back to this podcast, I guess, is our existential crisis, is because we're still trying to figure out what this podcast is. And maybe this is something that a lot of people, or maybe it's just me, that go through, because every time you embark on a creative project that involves some sort of metrics on the internet, like likes and view counts and subscribers, the automatic inclination is, how do we grow this damn thing? And that, I think, may have been where we started, because that's how we started with trying to have a structure and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about the kind of origins of that video, that like podcast episode, of like where it came from. And that's a very good point. And I think there is still space for it, but maybe it's not on the podcast, right? Maybe we create resources. Like we could still, like we can do. Okay, so fundamentally, guys, the rest of this episode is probably just going to be us figuring this out. So come along for the ride. I think it would still be cool to do those resources. I just don't think the podcast is the place to do it, right? I think the one thing that we enjoy about this is that we just rock up, have a conversation, talk about what we're going through and what's happening, what's going on at work, what we've learned, like sharing that with the world. But we don't need to be, kind of like you said, we don't need to be another Think Media. We don't have to have those resources here, but we could still put those resources together, whether it's like, like an actual, I was going to say physical, but not physical, but like a digital guide, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a video. It could just be a how-to, or kind of going back to the community and how we want to launch a community. Like we could run sessions within the community of like, cool, okay, so actually what we're going to do, and maybe this leads on to something that we're thinking about doing for next month, but we run once a quarter, we run a get started on YouTube workshop or something. Like it's just way more chill. It takes the pressure off. And the point of it, like we don't need to produce to make a how to start YouTube video and try and compete and like get all these views. Like that's not what we're doing this for, right? And we don't need to be that resource online, because you're right, there are other resources to do that. And also people can watch all the videos in the world, but they're not doing. So maybe it would be cooler to do actual workshops with people. And I guess me and you both do this, like if we're like we're working with like clients, like if we're coaching people, we'll do this one-to-one and we'll just do it with them. But obviously like that's a one-to-one thing. But like if we're doing it as a group, which we want to do as a community, then yeah, maybe we just host workshops and things and like put together a guide for said workshop. We still put together guides and share them with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could still be on our website that we have like resources because we could still share that information, but it doesn't have to be a podcast that we've extra planned, that we've like put all the information in, that we've put out into the world.
Yeah. This just makes me think. So when I first said to you, "Hey, let's do a podcast," what was
Yeah.
going through your mind? Because you were not excited about the prospect of this until you started talking about small creators, and that's when something clicked in your brain. What was that like? What was going on in your head, if you still remember?
Yes. Broadly, so I had Creators Campfire. So I had the podcast that I haven't touched in a while, where I talked to other creators, and I love that. So one, I love podcasting. Two, I love talking about creatory stuff, but I'm not the person who wants to like delve super deep into something. Like I don't want I'm not going to analyze somebody's like YouTube channel or like, get really into the nitty gritty and figure out the over optimization. I just like talking about it because I know that I like this world and I like being in this world. So podcast, create a podcast. And also I had been looking for a co-host because accountability as well, right? Like I haven't touched Creators Campfire in how long, but when there's somebody else, it's just more fun, but you like bounce off it. Like if I'm having an off week and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to record, you're like, shut up, we're recording, and vice versa. It's just nice. But also, I suppose I got very lucky in that you also do the stuff that I don't like doing, and for some reason you think that what I do you don't like. So it happened to work out even better because I hate like doing, and I guess ChatGPT has made this much easier and I kind of still do it, but like I hated doing the descriptions and like figuring out what to say, and anything that involves words I struggle with. And you were like, cool, I can write newsletters, like I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, this is even better because I have no issue editing.
Right. And when she says, I do stuff, I show up to record. This is the only thing I do.
That's not true. You write all the newsletters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I do. I do write and edit them, or edit them at least. Yes. Yes, I review them.
Yes. Because I don't want to touch anything that has words in it. But I can edit. But also it gives me accountability, right? Like you saying, me having a standing meeting with myself to record a podcast, not going to happen. Which is why I used to interview people, because it was in the calendar. I had to show up. But then once it was recorded, I was like, oh, what am I, like, I can't, oh, I'm bored. Ugh. Now, obviously, ChatGPT has become a thing since then. So, like, that post-production is probably easier now than it used to be. And Riverside's come on a lot since then. So, like, everything is easier. So I could have still done it. But I have 10 episodes sitting there from the last season I recorded that I haven't put out. But if I had a co-host, then they would have gone a long time ago, because they would have been like, yo, Bhav, where are the episodes? So for me personally, accountability is kind of huge. But yeah, I guess on the flip side, to your point of like, actually, once we settled on Small Creator, I got really excited because I am actually passionate about this. Like, I love helping people kickstart, to be honest, anything, but specifically like their creator journeys. And it's not about making money for me. It's just about doing something that you enjoy and having that creative outlet, because it's just fun. And like the second it gets into optimization and stuff, and that's not to say that like I don't speak to people who want to make money from it, because we're also doing the same. But it is just like super exciting when people are like, and I had this with the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, right? When the students would come in and they'd like put out a video and they'd get so excited and they'd be like so happy to be around this world. I was just like, this like genuinely makes me want to get up in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Which is why which is why I'm so bullish on a community, because I know how, especially like when I was creating, you must have felt this, but like when you're like making YouTube videos, and I was lucky enough that I was making YouTube videos during the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, but like the odd one I made before that, I was like, oh, what's the point? Because no one around you was like that. And I know we've spoken about this like a lot, but it genuinely does change the game when you have people around you. And that's why I like office hours, because all of a sudden you've got a place to go to ask these questions that you think like, who's going to know this? Or like, I just want to talk about I just need that emotional support as well.
Yeah.
And I'm big on that too. So basically I want to create this community Because a lot of things, although they teach you from the beginning, like the advice, like people don't handhold you as much. And I think it's really important when you're starting out that you get a little handholding and you get the emotional support, because when you don't, and I feel like because I'm like this, because I needed someone to say, no, it's okay, just like get on with it. That I'm a bit more like, I want to be that person for somebody else.
Yeah.
And a lot of the podcasts in the creative world are very much aimed at when you're further along, right? It's which I understand, because that's where you start making money, and that's where you can make money from the podcast too. But I want to help the people who are at the beginning of their career, and they might not have money, and that's fine, because we're not trying to make money with this. We're just trying to, this is a passion project for the both of us, as much as I hate that word. But like fundamentally it is. We just want to help people. And that's why we're here.
Yeah. Okay. I think that phrase, helping people kickstart creator journey, needs to be like, if we had an office, this needs to be at the office, because that should be like
Yes.
our North Star. And
So-
basically the filter that we make every decision with.
Do you remember? So it is actually, it's our mission. It's our mission that I just remembered. Because
Wow.
yeah, so we did this. I can't remember if I go to our Notion homepage, the mission, help kickstart the creative journeys of 10,000 people.
Oh yeah, we were debating back and forth about
Yes.
that number and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And the number is completely arbitrary, but like it seems within reason, but enough of a challenge. It's not like maybe we start with 100, but like that's why we're doing this. Like that brings us more joy than, like, I don't care if this podcast doesn't go anywhere, like growth wise, and doesn't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, if people are actually getting value out of it. If this is just a means for people to find us and join a community, then it's serving its purpose.
Yep.
So, and I never did get the Google form set up for that, because it would be interesting. So I do actually want a genuine tracker. Like, if we have helped you, like in any way kickstart your journey, like let us know. And I want this tracker. And actually we should, like, that is our purpose. That's our mission. And I forgot that until you said that. So thank you.
Yeah. I feel maybe that should just be our website. It should just be a life tracker. It's like everything else is like secondary.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. You okay there?
I'm just having a coughing fit. I'm sorry. I'm recovering from a cold. Let me just mute myself for a second.
Oh, no, it's okay. We can take a little break. As Bhav tries to like grasp at her last few breaths of life. Because
as I try not to die.
As she tries not to die, you know.
Yeah.
2076 just happened. Don't have to die so soon. I know the world is really, really horrible right now.
It is.
It's only 9 days into the year.
Yeah.
But we got this. Your YouTube channel can save you. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, damn. That's what we're playing? Okay. Everybody start a YouTube channel to make 2026 better. Okay. But no, that leads us on. I guess that leads us on to the second part of the thing. Well, it might not. You might have had another point. But I guess the second part of that is like, how do we define small creator? Because I think this is a helpful question to understand.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is a very indirect way to answer your question. But when I propose like doing this podcast with you, for me, I just wanted someone to like keep me accountable and chat about like creative projects with, because I was doing like all these gazillion creative projects, but I was doing it like in silo. And I just wanted somebody else who was also doing a gazillion things. So you had at that point like you had a Substack, you had a YouTube channel, you had 2 YouTube channels actually. And you know, you were doing bits and bobs here and there, working with a couple of people, doing some creator coaching, and I just kind of wanted somebody who was also just like as into like as many random things as I was, to chat about all these like creative stuff. And then can talk about like the process, like literally the nitty-gritty. This is so Will Manon, who's doing Act 2 at the moment, he sort of wrote about this thing called like Turpentine Talks, where art critics would talk about like the composition and the emotional evocation, like the emotions that arise out of like a painting or something. But artists, when they talk to each other, they would just literally just ask where to buy the cheapest paint. So I just basically wanted to do that.
I have
But
no
like,
idea where you can get the cheapest paint. I'm sorry.
docking
Yep.
10 points from this.
Yep. I
but-
apologize.
But I just wanted someone to like be able to talk about all the nitty gritty of YouTube with. It's just be like, oh, YouTube has an A/B test. What the heck does that mean? Like, does it even work? Should we even trust it? So basically, it's all these like little conversations that none of my real life friends care about because they're not creators. But I'm also not trying to make a career out of this. So I'm asking the question, but it's not that serious. Like, you know, like it's just like just a vibe check from somebody else who's in this space to be like, oh, actually, I heard this is really good, and it's not trying to like optimize the shit out of things. That's what I'm here for, in this like weird middle point ground. And I just was like, hey, I just wanted somebody to shoot the shit with. You were already swearing at me in the first time. I was like, oh, okay, I can fuck with that.
Was.
And then yeah, and then
Yep.
yeah, and so that's how I was coming at it. So I think like when I'm thinking of small creator, the person I had and have in mind is like maybe there are more people like me who are in this like really weird middle, who's like want to make something. Would be nice to like, I think if I had like a revenue goal or a money goal at that point, it literally was just like, I want this channel to fund my hobbies. So like if this YouTube channel made enough AdSense for me to buy a new set of paint that covers like the cost of me going out to paint, I was like, that would be great. And the context on this is my YouTube channel was an art channel back in 2022 to 2023. Now it's just a hodgepodge of stuff that gets updated every 6 months. But that was basically like my whole social media goal was just that. It wasn't like anything else, like quite genuinely. I was just like, oh, if I can just create stuff that I like, have the cost covered, that would be good enough for me. Never intended to make it full time as a creator.
Yeah.
But so that's who I have in my head as like a small creator. So like
Nice.
Becky circa 2022.
I like that. I think that's a very valid point. And I
Yeah.
think that comes back to the community thing, right? I think the most valuable thing about this is community. And it's like, it's having people being able to connect with other people at the same point in their journey. Exactly
Yeah.
like you said. Like, how could I just want to ask this thing, or like talk about this thing, or just be like, hey guys, like, anyone else want to give up after 5 videos? Because like, what the hell? And yeah, so us. Yeah, okay. So I think okay. So I think there were a couple of ways that we could have defined small creator. Like we could have come up with some random thing, but like if we assign metrics to it. One was I'm gonna forget what these were. One was the platform that they are on. So we could have gone YouTube specific, for example, or like Substack. And I don't think either of us wanted to do that. Because to us, it doesn't matter where you create, as long as you're creating, you're a creator, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
pick your platform, it's all kind of one and the same. Yes, they're all very different, like in terms of like growth and stuff, and how you do it, but fundamentally they're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
The second one was subscribers, but again, I don't think we wanted to put a value on it, because someone might, and whilst I don't fully agree with this, Paul Millard, our friend, says he kind of sees himself as a small creator, right? And I have no idea what his subscriber count is, but like he's a
like
public figure.
25K on Substack.
Okay. And his like YouTube channels are,
Oh, I have no idea about that.
yeah, okay. But so like, but he's a well-known guy in this space, right?
Oh,
He's written 2 books. He like has is this Substack number his like newsletter following?
Yes, theoretically. I don't know if
Okay.
he has a separate newsletter, but at least
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
I see. I would not class him as like a small creator, but he like identifies as one, and I think that's kind of cool. So like, I don't think a subscriber count means that much in that sense, because you could have 50,000, 75,000, and still count yourself as a small creator, because of what you're doing and how you've done it. On the flip side, you could have 15,000 subscribers and like be absolutely raking it in, and be like, mate, I am comfortable here.
Alright.
And then the third one that I hadn't thought about before was revenue, and I think this is what hit in terms of like how we can like define this, because maybe it's somebody who is making no money to like maybe 5K, and maybe that's dollars, so like maybe $0 to $5,000. If you're making that much from your content, anywhere within that, then you are a small creator. Again, you might identify with it, like not in that, but like broadly, I think that's the group we're talking to.
And
Thoughts?
this is monthly revenue.
Yes, sorry, good
Yeah.
point. Monthly. So actually 5K is a lot. So it could actually be like 3K. But like if we start with 0 to 5K and we understand our audience over time, once it grows, like it could be that it's very clear. But there'll be a lot of beginners. There'll be a lot of people making no money, and that's cool. We're not like, I think this is the difference between us and other people. Like they're kind of almost our primary target. That's our target audience. When we have discussions, that's who we're helping the most, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think why the revenue number I think like made sense, at least in my head, was because these people who are making like 0 to 5K, they're not necessarily aiming for a number. I think if they were aiming for a revenue goal, they would have already found a coach or somebody to like immediately get them there, or like they would have like gravitated towards certain like YouTubers who are like, this is how you make like a 10K newsletter or something like that.
Yeah.
But it is like the common denominator among everybody who we think are like small creators, or like the bulk of the people who we think are small creators. Like neither you nor I have made like $5,000 per a month out of content. I got like maybe $100 AdSense check. That's pretty much it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just one time, and then I got demonetized because my views dropped. Because I stopped uploading. So, boo.
Oopsies.
Oopsies. Who knew? You have to keep uploading to keep your money. Ah, my goodness.
Rude.
So rude. I swear it didn't used to be like that, but now there's another thing, and this is tangent, but this is maybe for like a future problem or something. But if you stop, like if you're monetized and then you stop uploading videos after a year, they take it down. They take the monetization status down. So even though you're raking in the views, you actually have to have some sort of presence on YouTube.
That's new, right?
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
new.
interesting.
It's maybe in the past year or so. It's very, very new. Because I literally
makes sense.
Yeah, because the podcast that I was inspired by to start this podcast is called the Sunny 16 podcast. They're like a group of these four people from Moment. Who also literally was just shooting the shit on the podcast, and that's what made me go like, oh, I want one too. But they literally recorded an episode because they were like, guys, we're gonna get demonetized if we don't upload one, and that was their intro. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that thing existed. And they also didn't know that thing existed, so they just did like an impromptu episode. But yes, back to the revenue thing. It is a common denominator. I think these are people who are like, I don't know if it's zero. It's like, it's interesting because it's $0, but it's not beginners.
Yes, but it can be.
It can be beginners. Sorry, $0, but not people who have not created before. So they're not step 0. There may be like step 0.1, like level 0.1. Because like a person who has never posted on Instagram is technically a 0, but they would not listen to a small creator podcast if they want to start an Instagram. So they would have already started something.
Do you think that's true? Because what if you are just overthinking things, but you're super interested in it?
That's true. Yes, people who want to start. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think of everybody who was in our office hours today. I think every single one of them had something to link to.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think basically if you haven't posted anything on any sort of social media, you will not label yourself as a creator.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair.
So it would be like people who have
Okay, I'm thinking back to the Part-Time YouTuber Academy.
Yeah.
And there were definitely people in there that had bought the course, that were turning up to sessions that perhaps they didn't identify as a creator. Yeah. But they wanted to be creators, so they were still consuming the content. Okay, I think, yes, I take your point. I think that is a smaller bucket, and if you happen to fall into that, then fine. But that's not who we're
Yeah.
That's not who we're targeting.
Because, okay, those people would not come to us, though. They would, like, literally take Part-Time YouTuber Academy because they're, like, they want a specific, like, they want a YouTube channel that's up and running. Those people will not come to us.
Okay, so we're saying that
Because we're not the how
okay,
to start something people.
okay. I think you're right. In order to say that you are a small creator, you have to have created something.
Yeah.
I think that's a valid assumption.
Yeah. Which I know is like basic because it's basically like so the very specific audience that I have in mind is like people who have been creating for maybe like 3 months, a year, who maybe
Yeah.
have like 20 uploads on YouTube and they're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So basically they've already tried figuring everything out and they watch all the content and they've already been doing this stuff and they're still just like, oh my god, I don't know. And maybe this is too narrow of an audience, but I feel like those kind of people, if okay, I think now I'm just like remembering like Becky circa 2022. And what I was doing was I was like, because Twitch was such a big thing back then because everybody was still kind of locked up inside. And I was tuning into these like Twitch streamers of these art YouTubers who like they would kind of share their feelings about YouTube and creating and being like, I'm thinking about my next upload. I don't know. What do you guys want to see? Blah, blah, blah. In their like Twitch streams. And that was what I like. That was why I kept showing up to the streams because I was like, oh my God, like they're uploading YouTube videos. I'm uploading YouTube videos. And then we would just like have like a back and forth and like chat and stuff as back and forth as a streamer chat could be. But like I was part of their Discord. We were talking art. We were like referencing each other on like YouTube videos. And I was like, that was what I, like if I had known another sort of a creator podcasty thing, I would have like 100% listened to it.
And what would you have been listening for?
Quite honestly, I would have just been listening for like what is going on in their like creator life. So like I wouldn't care I would also care a little bit about like their personal lives and stuff. But I guess what I would be like tuning in for is like how they're thinking about coming up with like new ideas, how they're thinking about like editing, uploading, how they're thinking about seeking feedback, how they're thinking about like just basically like the ins and outs of the processes. And I think where I'm coming from is that again, like I think most people who are creators don't have that many creator friends.
Yes.
Agreed. I think creating is such an online only thing that like I know people always say like, oh, the world is so saturated, blah blah blah. But like realistically, if you look at your friend circle, out of 10 people, how many have a YouTube channel and how many are actively uploading there? It's like it's just such a like yes, it's saturated and like there seems to be a lot of people because we're always online. But in real life, there's like nobody. So I was trying to like make up my own.
Slightly skewed.
Oh, your circle is very very skewed. You only have YouTuber friends.
Yes.
You have one friend, Allison, who doesn't exist on social media. Everybody else is making a living off of social media.
That is correct.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Allison. Thanks for also being one of our. Oh, I got told off the other day, by the way. Side tangent. Allison, because I think we called out callers every week. Hi, callers. And she was like, excuse me, I have been listening from the beginning. Where's my shout out? And I was just editing our last episode last night, and I was like, oh, thank God, we did mention that. We did give Allison a shout out yesterday. But just in case, I would just like to pause and do another shout out to Allison, who, even if she does watch our episode late occasionally, has listened to every episode. And I think what she said was like, just because I don't watch on YouTube, does that mean that's why you're not shouting me out? And I was like, no. Every listen, every view counts.
Wait, so, where does she listen on?
She's a podcast girly.
So is it Spotify or something else?
I would assume it's Spotify. She's also a Spotify girly.
I don't know. I'm a Spotify girly. I don't listen to podcasts on Spotify. I'm just curious.
Okay, well, I am making an assumption on her behalf, but I would say Spotify.
I just want to know if the video podcast makes a difference. This is, again...
It doesn't to Allison.
But
she's also not our target audience. She is just listening because it's us.
Aw, we love you,
Yeah.
Allison.
Yeah. So, well, you're okay. But no, she's been here since day one. She listens to all of the episodes. And yes, thank you, Alison, for listening. I appreciate it. There we go. Now I hopefully won't get told off again. Right, what were we saying?
We need like a bingo card. Bingo card is Corliss, Allison, and Paul Miller. That's the bingo card.
Okay, yes. Please, if there are any other regular viewers that we have missed, please can you put it in the comments or just DM us or message us so we can include you. It's like a mini Patreon. Like, you don't have to pay, but we'll shout you out every episode if you're one of our hardcore fans that has listened to all of our episodes.
Maybe if you become funnier, Inez will actually listen to you. And
clearly I'm not funny enough.
So after episode 1, our friend Inez, I think messaged you saying that, oh my god, I didn't know you were so funny. Something like that.
Firstly, I don't think I'm that funny, but like, how does it take you? You've known me for how many years? It takes you to listen to a podcast to
I haven't let it go since.
come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's not listening, so.
Every time you say something, I'm just like, oh, you're actually funny.
Thank you, team, for having so much faith in me that you are surprised that I can be funny. Ouch. Right, should we get back to the episode?
Yeah, so...
Enough of that tangent, thank you very much.
So Allison is not our target audience. I think that's what
She is
the
not
conclusion.
our target audience. She is not a creator.
Yes, but yeah, everybody else... I think that, yeah, I literally would just like listen to... So I feel like I have a group of friends that are also doing this creatory stuff. Like, I'm hanging out with like other creators and I feel a little bit more like in the know. I also don't know if that's like me as a person though. I was talking about it earlier today about like how my natural inclination every time I try something new or like enter a new like industry or something is like, I just know that I can absorb stuff. Yeah, I can consume a lot of content, but like my favorite way to learn is just to surround myself with like people. And that is why that's why when I was in Rite of Passage and the cohort ended, I was just like, oh my god, I'm going to host like a gym every single week, a writing gym every single week, not a physical workout gym every single week. That would be crazy.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, a writing gym every single week so I can keep hanging out with other writers and keep having writing on top of mine and keep having these writing conversations. And we're always talking about like, oh my god, Substack just introduced a new A/B testing feature. What do we do about it? Do we think it's like worth trying? Do we not think it's worth trying? Like, basically, I just wanted like people to bounce off with. Similarly, when I started in this YouTube producer space, like, yes, I consume a lot of content, but like after the 3-month mark, I was just like, I'm just gonna start reaching out to people like blindly and just be like, hey, I'm a YouTube producer. I started like 3 months ago. Would you jump on a call with me and like help me out? And then like this is just like my way of learning from people. Like, I just like conversations better than all these like YouTube videos that are already like packaged and like step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Also because I can ask questions, and like now I very unashamedly like ask people. I'm like, okay, so I'm Ollie's YouTube producer, still very freaking new to this space. Like, if you look at his channel, like, what am I doing wrong, or what is like one thing you would tell me to like step up on like immediately? And this is a question I literally asked the guy from 1 of 10, Richard, like yesterday, because I'm just like, this is just how I feel like I can learn best. But yeah, so putting myself back into this small creator shoes, if there was a podcast out there, and there probably is, about people who are also like just our size of creator and doing these kind of things, I would like listen to them. And I think that's why I'm also like really pulled towards like, I know the folks who run this podcast called the Gimbal Podcast, and it's literally about the people who are working in the creator economy. So it's not like the Mr. Beast or like the Ali Abdals. It's like the people in their teams. And that to me, it like is like such a relatable thing. And then sometimes they talk about like yes, they talk about their own what they do for their employer. But if they started talking about like what they do in their own like creative lives as well, oh my goodness, I would so lap that up. But yeah.
Okay. So is that the gap that we're plugging, that second half? Because we're not, although we bring in our own experiences from work, like that's not primarily what it is. And we're not bringing people on, like that's not we will at some point, but like,
yeah,
like this is primarily me and you riffing. And therefore, yes, although we're talking about our experiences, it's not every episode isn't
Uh,
about like our learnings. Every episode is more the latter of like what we're doing in our creative journeys. And that's fine because there are obviously other podcasts that plug the other gap, right? So like if the Gimbal podcast talks to other people on teams, that's super
yeah.
relatable for us. That's great for us to listen to. But are we just the, hey, we are kind of
Uh,
like you and we're just talking about our experience? The one benefit that we have, or the one like USP that we have, is that we have both worked for a big YouTuber who kind of
what is it?
knows
What is a USP?
unique selling point.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Like that's just like our thing. So it's not just like two random people. Like, although because we don't have like the social proof, right? With our own stuff, we have relatively small followings across platforms. But we have both worked for Ali Abdaal,
Uh,
who does know his shit, unlike us, and
uh-huh.
therefore, like, and we are in this world, and then we have pretty cool contacts in this world, and therefore have learned some pretty cool stuff and have access to some pretty cool stuff. So, like, I think is that like what we're doing? We're bringing like other small creators together to give them that sense of community and to give them that like feel that there are other people around and they can have that those
Uh,
conversations if they like, but also sharing our experiences. Kind of to your second point about the Gimbal Pod, like if you heard about what they were doing in their own creative journeys, this is us talking about our own creative journeys and
uh,
what we're learning about. So like whether it was last year talking about websites and stuff, or
uh.
like personal brand and how we're thinking about things and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. This is like, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Because for me, this is hitting. But how do you feel?
Yes, I
Okay.
agree. Like I don't necessarily like I don't want this to become an interview show.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to have like friends on and we riff, but it's not like a like I don't think that's what we necessarily want this to become.
Yeah.
But I think this is a place to it's also a place, sorry, for us to document our like
Yeah.
creative lives, right?
Yeah.
To look back and go, oh, because even if we look back to May, we're in a completely different place to where we were in May, right?
Oh,
Where
goodness. I don't want to
exactly.
rewatch that. Jeez.
Okay, well, we don't have to but like it's almost like
It's a
if
nice time
nothing
capsule.
it exactly if nothing else comes of this,
Uh,
going back to our why, we have this for our own records of like this was our journey because we're talking about what we're going through at the time. So whether that's like, oh man, like life's like work's really tough right now because of XYZ or whatever, or hey, like
uh,
I just launched this like cool thing, or hey, I've been mulling over LinkedIn strategy, or I've
uh,
like made this product in an hour, like those kind of things. And I know you write every week, so you have that documentation too, but it's kind of you don't necessarily get to dig into it all the time, and it's not always about the creative stuff. So
yeah.
for me, that's also a big thing. So for me, the biggest things are community and bringing people together, and two, just like talking through the stuff that we're going through, which also happens to mean that we have documented our creator journeys along the way.
Mm, okay. So I really like this from an angle of like, we are literally just telling stories, which nobody else in the world has. Like basically we're giving like tips and like how to optimize your social media stuff. Like there's so many people out there who can give you better advice
Yeah,
than we can. But I think our stories are fun and interesting and a lot of the times become super relatable
yeah,
in a way because a lot of people will also be um I guess would be thinking about what we're thinking at some point. Like
yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have people who are thinking of starting a podcast would be like, oh my god, what sort of like advice do I share? And then maybe end up in the conclusion of like, oh, actually I don't want to share any advice. Um just want to share my experience. Um
Yes.
I super vibe with that. Still do not know who our audience is. I know
Okay.
that's what I want to
Okay.
do.
Yes.
So we still have not answered the question that is at the title of this episode.
I think. Okay, I feel a bit more comfortable with it. I think.
Yeah?
So I think our audience is okay. A small creator is defined as any creator who is making anywhere up to
Uh-huh.
I'd probably even say 3K,
Uh-huh.
$3,000 a month
Uh-huh.
from their content.
Uh-huh.
They are still figuring stuff out. They might be early in their journey. They might be plodding along. They might be trying to grow, and they are building their own brand. They're building their own channels. and they are just looking for a little bit of advice, a little bit of community, and like just answers to some questions that they might not get in
Yep.
the big places. I think that's what
Yeah.
it is. So if you are creating content on any platform, so that's written or like video, right?
Yeah.
So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Substack, LinkedIn, definitely forgotten one. But like whatever it is, if you are creating content, whether you've created one piece or 100 pieces, because also like you could have created 1,000 videos and still count yourself as a small creator, right?
That's
So
true.
again, that's not a relevant metric. So I think anyone who's creating content and is making from $0 to $3,000 a month from it, I would say is a small creator. And for us, it's like our audience is also somebody who wants to specifically find more people like them and like get that community feel. And I think that's what we're here to do, and learn from other people's experience, like that are also going through it at the same time as them.
Yeah. Okay. So basically people who show up to our office hours are just exactly the target. Like we've already hit that target
Absolutely.
audience.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd be curious to hear. So for anyone listening or watching,
Yeah.
I would love to know, do you consider yourself a small creator? Based on this definition or another definition? Like,
Yeah.
do you resonate with what we've just defined? Is there a better definition? How do you define yourself? Maybe that's a better question. Like, how do you define yourself? And like, what kind of, like, why are you watching? Like, not in a mean
Yeah.
way, but like, what is it that you get from these episodes? Or what would you like to see more of or less of? Because as much as we'll turn up every 2 weeks and hit record, because I think we kind of literally just agreed that that's what we're going to do regardless. Like, what we still want to do, we still want this to be helpful to people and valuable. And again, kickstarting the creative careers of 10,000 people is still at the forefront of that. So it's also creator wannabes, not wannabe in a mean way, but like someone who wants to, like, you could have posted sporadically and you just want consistency, like you want accountability. Like that's probably where I would have fallen into this of like, I want to produce content. I don't care about growth. I just want to put stuff out into the world, and I need a little bit of accountability. I want to become consistent. So I am a small creator, but I haven't really kickstarted my career. I've just like started it. So but yeah, that's where my head's at.
Okay.
Is that
So
is that like, does that clarify things, or are you?
no,
Is there still questions?
So for the podcast, I
Yeah.
think I'm fully convinced.
Cool.
For the other thing, for the newsletter.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So a little bit of context on the newsletter.
Yes. How did the newsletter come about, actually? Was it because I just wanted to write a lot? Is that how it came about?
No. I think it was slightly more strategic than that.
Oh, okay.
Not loads, but we just thought it would be good to have a newsletter.
Okay.
Two reasons. One is that everyone says collect emails, and we don't want to collect emails for no reason. But two, like we were doing episode, like it kind of just makes sense. Like it allows us to send. Actually, no, that's a lie. It was purely collect emails. But what it does do is it means that you have. So, but we still want to we want to give value. So at the moment, or for the longest time, we were just sending episode recaps, which is also really helpful because, and I don't know if this is how you write it. I know you're not technically writing anymore, but for me, an episode recap should almost be, yes, obviously a recap of the episode, but like if I'm listening to the episode out and about and I can't take notes or whatever, or I can't be bothered to take notes, that episode recap should serve as my notes of the episode, which I think it does, by the way, but just, I don't know if that was like our main thing. So for me, an episode recap, the purpose and the value in an episode recap is it's my notes on the episode without me having to take my own notes. So actually, and maybe we're not quite writing it like this, but we should pull out quotes and things, the things that hit. That are just like, oh, that was a good point, and we should hone in on that stuff. Almost as if you were listening to the episode yourself of somebody else and you were taking notes on that episode. That's how I feel our episode recap should be written.
Okay.
I don't know what you think.
Okay. It might be worth you looking at one of our episode recaps and tweaking it, because so far I've been the one writing it. And the way I write, I think the way I take notes is very different from the way you take notes, because I love like bullet points and stuff. So that's the way I would take notes. But the reason for the newsletter recap is the same. It's because like you said, like, oh, maybe I'm out about, and like you're out and about and you don't have the opportunity to take notes and such. And I always find that with podcasts. And I'm always so annoyed when I Google the podcast and I'm like, I really know. So like a podcast I listen to, a very tangible example is Cami and Taryn. They're this couple and they talk about like, they have a podcast like every other week or something like that. But they had like a reflection prompt that they talked about once. And I couldn't find it in my notes and I can't Google it because they don't have an episode recap. And it like annoys the heck out of me. Whereas like podcasts that are hosted by like say Fox Media or like from like the New York Times or stuff, they always have a recap and they even have like a transcript, like a clean transcript up.
Yeah.
So that becomes like fully searchable. And it's so nice every time I just want to go back and like reference and fact check something. Because I will never put something out if I can't find the link, it's not in my Substack, basically, because I'm not referencing something for no reason. That's not fact checked. But basically, I just wanted us to have our own repository. It also makes it just easier.
Yeah. I agree. No, I love our episode recaps. I think they're great. I just wondered if there could be.
If there's anything else you want to add, and then to like those recaps, it would be helpful for you to.
I've definitely like when I like read them. I definitely make mental notes, but I'm also like, because we was just starting, I was like, actually, that's like so fine. They're like minor tweaks, but maybe we're now at that stage that we can now start. Now that the process is up and running, the system is up and running, and we have a smooth process. Maybe now is the right time to go, okay, actually, let me go back and read it, having just watched it because I've edited it. Or even vice versa. Maybe I watch it and make my notes as I'm watching. And then read the episode recap and go, oh, I was expecting this, or this is how I would. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I can do that next time.
Perfect.
Okay,
perfect.
Cool. Nice. And then, sorry, go on.
No, yeah. So that's the newsletter recap. That's this recap. And then the other part was like, oh, it'd be cool to share. Actually, no. When we were talking about newsletters and we were talking about like providing value and stuff, my mind didn't immediately jump to like, oh my God, let's tell people how to optimize their social media platform. My mind immediately went to like, oh, let's talk about like our actual challenges on like the creator stuff. And that's why the first newsletter issue was about like lowering the bar, because we were just like kind of trapped about being like perfectionists. And maybe we just need to ship. And then the second newsletter is about was about my question of whether or not I needed to start a second channel. And then I just talked about it because like I'm assuming that like other people would also have like, oh, should I start like a new Instagram just dedicated to my food reviews? Like these are really, really similar questions. It's just framed slightly differently. But yeah, so maybe that's like the newsletter going forward as well. It's literally just our struggles. Like basically we're just like office houring ourselves. And I guess now that we actually have office hours, we also have a better sense of what people's actual questions are. We do a good job of taking notes of these and making sure that they're properly recapped and stuff. So
nice. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Okay, we have a plan.
We just solved 2 problems. You know what? Every time we have a problem, we should just hit record.
I agree.
Because
even if we could like insert it, or we could do a proper intro afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, that is the other thing I think that we can maybe start thinking about is like recording different intros. But that does add complexity into the process, and maybe it's not necessary recording an extra intro.
Yeah. All right. So now that all the boring stuff is out of the way, what has been going on in your life in the past 2 weeks?
Update time. Okay.
Update time.
Woohoo!
Insert jingle here.
We should have no focus. I Actually, not a lot. What can you remind me? Did we record before Christmas or after Christmas?
Recorded before Christmas, because look at you. Somebody has a new mic set up now.
Okay, we recorded before Christmas. Hello everybody watching. This is my new mic. I got rid of my old one. What happened is once I took my mic off my my arm thingy, meant I could put my camera on it, which means now setup for podcast episode is much quicker and much simpler. Inspiration from Becky, because she has both her camera and her mic armed to the side of her desk, and now
And
I have
lamp.
my camera and lamp. Oh gosh. So my lamp, well, my light is, and then I whacked out the Shure MV7 because that's a USB mic, which means it just plugs straight in. I don't have to worry about an audio interface. So with an XLR mic, it has to go through an audio interface so you can plug it into your computer. So we got rid of two things that I'm now selling. Well, I haven't put them up on eBay yet, so if anyone needs some things or wants to buy some things, hit me up. But anyway, so sorry. In a nutshell, since Christmas, I've basically decluttered and I went down a rabbit hole of finances. I'm a relatively good tracker of finances, but like not great. So once and for all, now that I'm officially like starting my own business, I need to be a bit more on top of things. Yeah. So I've spent the last couple of weeks going down the finance rabbit hole, understanding how things should be set up, getting my like accounts in order, making sure things are boxes are ticked, officially applied for all relevant stuff yesterday. So yeah, we're kind of, that's what I've been doing basically, and a little bit of work. What about you, Becky?
Yeah, I was also on a decluttering spree. Oh, decluttering spree. It's decluttering spree. It's 9 p.m.
Nice.
guys. It's a long day.
It's okay.
And I basically took everything out of my cabinets and like inventoried them. Like I put everything kind of like in the right place, or like group things. And then as I was putting them in cabinets, I have a little label maker that I like kind of printed stuff on, like the names of the items that are in the cabinet, and I just put it behind the door. So basically when I open a cabinet, instead of like reaching into like 3 different cabinets to figure out if like my one XLR cable that I do not have is there. No,
I can tell you already, without the label maker, it's not in the cupboard.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
What a waste of time.
Yeah.
But like my tripod plates and all of that, like if I just want to know where they are, then I just know which cabinet to open. Because drawers are great because you can just see top down, but cabinets are hard because you just see them from the side. So I label all my journals and stuff. I found like 9 journals from the last 5 years, which is great. It's great to look back memory lane and see how energetic Becky was once upon a time. And then work-wise, I am busy with the team. Like so in the team, Ali loves like a quarterly quest. And basically this is like a project that a good chunk of the team is focused on for the quarter. And Ali's now obsessed with systemizing things and writing down SOPs for everything, and basically just systemizing the whole creative process. And I was thinking about this because in every other job I had, one of the first things I did in during like onboarding is when people are teaching me how to do things, I actually write them down as a to-do, like a step-by-step process. And basically for the first few times I'm doing it, there's a step-by-step process. And I think what happened when I joined Team Ali was nobody knew what the fuck was going on because everybody had left. And I was just trying to figure it out. And then at the end of the day, I don't have a list. I don't have a step-by-step process. Ali doesn't have a step-by-step process. Nobody else in the team has a step-by-step process. There are existing SOPs, but everybody who wrote them left, so nobody is following them anymore because they kind of knew what was going on in their heads, and a lot of the stuff just become obsolete over time because the internet world just moves so fast. So we've been making checklists and like iterating on checklists, and it's been actually really freaking nice to have a checklist to follow and have a checklist to improve on. I feel like it just takes like the emotion out of everything because now we're not like blaming each other for like not doing a certain step of the process, because like we all like take collective ownership and we're just like, oh shit, it's not part of the checklist, okay, let's just add that checklist for like the next time. And yeah, it's really nice. It's like feeding my like orderly brain, so I am thoroughly enjoying making like a gazillion different checklists for every gazillion different scenarios and just doing all the nitty-gritty stuff, because it's just nice to be able to, like, if I ever go on a holiday and I have to hand this part of the system off to, like, somebody else, I'm just like, hey, this is a checklist, like, literally just follow this. And then
Nice. I'm
yeah,
also pro checklists for what it's worth, and
so
systems
good.
and processes. Unsurprisingly, please
Oh,
continue.
it is great. It's like, yeah, it's lovely. It's great that we have like this format stuff. I guess I've always been doing like checklists unofficially, but it's just like in Notion, it's in a form of like a template. So every time I create like a new Substack article or something, there's already sections that I'm filling in. So that's really nice. Yeah, and on the personal-ish side hustle front, I got 2 clients this week, which is insane.
Yay!
Not something that I would imagine happening in the first week of 2026. But yeah, I'm super pumped. I think it's like another one of those cases where I never created content optimizing for clients. I think I tried once and I was just feeling so ick about it. So I actually stopped doing that actively. And what I've just been doing is literally just sharing my journey. So I would literally share screenshots of my Notion page and just put it on LinkedIn and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Or like a behind the scenes photo of me like fiddling with a camera. And then just like random ass story of, I don't know, my day in the office, or like me feeling like imposter syndrome or something. And that's how I've been getting clients, weirdly enough. So I think I'm just gonna continue doing that because it works for me.
Yep.
It's not like, I don't think it's the most optimized way to get clients, but it's like the way that feels the like most true to myself. Like I'm like, yes, I'm always happy if people vibe with the story and they want to work with me, then I'm so game. Because I feel like maybe people already know me a little bit through my LinkedIn posts. But yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, I think that's my update so far. Starting
Nice.
2026 off strong.
Hell yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what we like.
Checklist and
Nice.
clients, the 2 C's.
Checklist. Beautiful. We need a third now.
Creator. I'm just throwing words around.
Okay, and on that note, I think it's time to wrap it up because clearly someone is getting sleepy. Brain is shutting down.
Oh, it's shut down a long time ago.
Okay. Fantastic. Right, plug time. Real quickly. What have we got to plug?
We
please
have
like,
office
subscribe.
hours. Oh.
Oh.
You want to start again?
Okay, let's start that again. Plug time. Okay, guys. For this episode, please like and subscribe, and please tell us your thoughts, and if you're listening and all the other stuff. Office hours, yeah, we're running creator office hours every other week. So we had our third session today, which was awesome. We had like 10 people turn up or something. It was
16.
a really good sesh. 16.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They didn't fit in one screen. That's how many people it was.
Damn. Oh, that's why I thought it was only. Okay, cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, editor Bhav, please do your magic. Yeah, please come join. Like, if you've got any questions, creator related, come along. Completely free. It'll be the both of us just answering questions. But also, it's a nice little like team vibe because other people will chip in with their experience too. So we've got some really cool people turning up. And then subscribe to the newsletter if you haven't already. This goes against all advice where it says please just do one CTA, but whatevs.
Just do whatever you feel like.
Do whatever. Do nothing if you don't want it. That's fine.
That's true. Do whatever you feel like.
Who are we to tell you what to do? But we've got a newsletter. Hit that link there. Is that enough plugging? Is that I'm not a plugger. I think I'm done.
You're
with
really
plugging.
good at this. Wow.
Yeah, clearly, guys. Yeah, I am nailing the plugging. All right, I think I'm sick of plugging now. We done? Is there anything else I need to plug?
We're gonna tell you to do one more thing though before we sign off. If you've been sitting on a piece of content, if it's been sitting in your drafts, if you've been thinking about like, oh, is this photo good enough to post? Hit that publish button.
You tell him, Becky.
Woo! All right, now that we strongly encourage you to do. All right, go and
hit
publish. And we're out. Bye.